For the past 11 years, I have been quietly building a food storage system that most preppers would laugh at. While everyone is panic buying the same freeze-dried meals and 5-gallon rice buckets, I stock 13 specific items that sit on shelves untouched even during the worst shortages. Number 9 is sitting at your local Asian grocery store right now for under $4, and it has kept people alive through famines for literally thousands of years. The problem is that when everyone reads the same prepper blogs and watches the same survival channels, that is exactly what disappears first. Back in early 2020, I watched rice and beans get cleared out in 2 hours at every store in my area. But the items I am about to show you, still fully stocked 3 days later, and here's the thing nobody talks about. These 13 foods do not just last a long time, they never expire. Not in 5 years, not in 20. Some of them will outlast you and me. Let me show you exactly what I keep and why you will never see me fighting over the last bag of pasta. And if you want to stay ahead of the next shortage, hit that subscribe button right now, because this information does not stay secret forever. Number 1 is going to sound boring until you understand what it actually does. Honey. Before you think I am just talking about that bear-shaped bottle at the grocery store, stop. Real raw honey in a sealed container has been found in Egyptian tombs over 3,000 years old. Still edible. Not kind of okay. Perfectly fine. The reason is simple chemistry. Honey is so low in moisture and so high in natural sugar that bacteria cannot survive in it. No, it is a natural antimicrobial. Here's what happened in my house last winter. Power went out for 9 days. No heat, no refrigeration. I had honey, and I used it for everything. Stirred into oatmeal for calories, mixed with a little warm water for instant energy. Put it on burns when my kid grabbed a hot pan. It is food and medicine in one jar. And here's the move nobody thinks about. Buy it in bulk from a local beekeeper or a farm supply store. I get 5-pound jars for $18. Meanwhile, people are spending $200 on those emergency food buckets that taste like cardboard and expire in 25 years. Honey never expires. Ever. During shortages, people rush for sugar and flour. Honey sits there. Because most preppers think it is just a luxury item, it is not. It is survival food disguised as a sweet treat. Look, food prices are climbing faster than anyone can keep up with. I have done the math for you and put together a free emergency pantry checklist that lists the exact items you need to stockpile, which you can buy from any grocery store. It can feed your family for 2 weeks and costs less than a single takeout order for 4. You can grab it for free at the link in the description, so you can stop worrying and start actually prepping. Number 2 is something your grandmother knew about but you probably forgot. White rice, not brown rice. White. And there is a critical reason why. Brown rice has oils in the bran layer. Those oils go rancid. White rice has had the bran removed, which means there is almost nothing in it that can spoil. Stored properly in a food-grade bucket with an oxygen absorber, white rice will last 30 years or more. I have rice in my basement right now that I sealed in 2015. Opened a bucket last month. Tasted exactly the same as the day I stored it. Here's what people mess up. They buy rice and leave it in the paper bag it came in. That is a mistake. You need airtight, you need pest-proof. 5-gallon buckets with gamma lids. Oxygen absorbers inside. You can get a 25-pound bag of jasmine rice for $15 at any Asian market. That is 50 servings minimum. Compare that to freeze-dried rice at prepper sites that runs $4 per serving. The math is insane. And here's why white rice survives every shortage. People buy it, sure, but they buy small bags for dinner tonight. They are not thinking long-term. You are. Number 3 is one I didn't take seriously until a guy who manages food distribution for a major chain, 20 years in the business, told me this. Salt. Pure salt. Not the iodized stuff in the round container with the girl on it. I am talking about plain, unionized, food-grade salt. It does not expire. It is a mineral. It has been sitting in the earth for millions of years. It is not going to spoil in your pantry. But here is the insight nobody talks about. Salt is not just for flavor. Your body needs sodium to survive. Without it, your muscles stop working. Your brain gets foggy. You can die. And salt is a preservative. You can cure meat. You can pickle vegetables. You can extend the life of food you thought was going to go bad. Last spring, I bought a 10-pound bag of sea salt for $6 at a restaurant supply store. That same amount in those little prepper packets? $40, I keep salt in my car, in my bug out bag, in 3 different locations in my house. Because when things go sideways, salt is currency. It has been used as money for centuries. There is a reason we call it salary. And during the last panic, nobody was fighting over salt. They were fighting over toilet paper. Number 4 is going to sound strange if you have never been to an Asian grocery store. Dried seaweed, specifically nori sheets or kombu. This stuff lasts indefinitely if kept dry. And here is what blew my mind when I finally looked into it. Just one sheet of nori contains more iodine than most people get in an entire week. Iodine is critical for thyroid function. Without it, your metabolism crashes. You get tired. You gain weight. Your brain slows down. Most people get iodine from iodized salt or seafood. But in a long-term crisis where fresh fish is not available, dried seaweed is your backup. I bought a pack of 50 nori sheets for $3 at H Mart. 50 sheets. That is 50 servings of iodine, protein, vitamins A and C. You can eat it plain. You can crumble it into rice. You can wrap anything in it. It weighs almost nothing. Takes up no space. And I have packs in my pantry from 4 years ago. Still crispy. Still perfect. The reason it survives shortages is simple. Most Americans have never even thought about eating seaweed unless it is wrapped around sushi. That means when the panic hits, it is invisible, and you walk right past the crowd and grab it. Number 5 is absolute gold and nobody is talking about it. Dried lentils, not canned. Dried. Lentils are one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet. High in protein, high in fiber, full of iron and folate. And they last forever. I have lentils I bought in bulk in 2012, stored in airtight containers. I opened some 2 months ago and cooked them. Took the same amount of time. Tasted the same. No difference. Here's the move. Go to an Indian grocery store. You will find 5-pound bags of lentils for $4 or $5. Compare that to any prepper site selling freeze-dried beans at 10 times the price. And here is the magic of lentils. They cook faster than beans. You do not need to soak them overnight. 20 minutes and they're done. If you are in a situation where fuel is limited, that matters. I keep red lentils, green lentils, and black lentils. Each one has a slightly different flavor and texture. Food monotony is real. Eating the same thing every day wears you down mentally. Variety keeps you sane. And during shortages, people buy black beans and pinto beans. Lentils, still sitting there, because the average prepper has no idea what to do with them. Number 6 is one I felt like an idiot for not figuring out sooner. Vinegar. Specifically white distilled vinegar. It does not expire. The acidity is so high that nothing can grow in it. I have bottles of vinegar that are 6 years old. Still good. And vinegar is not just for cooking. You can clean with it, disinfect surfaces, preserve vegetables, make pickles that last for months without refrigeration. Last summer, I made pickles from cucumbers in my garden using nothing but vinegar, salt, and water. Those jars are still good. No canning equipment, no fancy setup. Just vinegar doing what it has done for thousands of years. A gallon of white vinegar costs $3 at any grocery store. And here is what people miss. In a crisis, cleaning supplies disappear fast. Bleach, disinfectant wipes, all gone. But vinegar? It can do most of the same jobs, and it lasts forever. I keep 3 gallons in my storage area, and when the shelves were empty in 2020, vinegar was fully stocked. Because people do not think of it as essential. You do now. Number 7 is sitting in the baking aisle right now, and it is criminally underrated. Baking soda, pure sodium bicarbonate. Does not expire. I know the box says it does. Ignore that. That date is for peak leavening power in baking. But baking soda does not go bad. It just sits there. And here's what makes it genius. Baking soda is not just for baking. You can brush your teeth with it, deodorize anything, clean burnt pans, soothe heartburn, treat minor burns, put out grease fires. I opened a box from 2016 last week. Still works. Still fizzes when I add vinegar. A box costs $1. $1. I buy them 10 at a time, and I have never regretted it. And here is the kicker. During a shortage, baking soda is ignored. People are not thinking about it. They are thinking about food. But baking soda is a multi-tool that takes up almost no space and costs almost nothing. Stock it. Number 8 is one that preppers actually do talk about, but most people store it wrong. Dried pasta, not fresh, not refrigerated, dried. Stored in airtight containers away from moisture, dried pasta will last 10 years or more. Some sources say indefinitely. I have pasta from 2014, cooked some last year. Perfect. But here's the detail that matters. You need to protect it from humidity and pests. I transfer pasta from the cardboard box into Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, then put those in a hard container. Mice cannot chew through it. Air cannot get in. A 1-pound box of pasta costs $1 at most grocery stores. That is 4 servings minimum. Compare that to freeze-dried pasta meals at $6 per serving. The value is insane. And here's the shortage hack. Everyone buys spaghetti. The spaghetti shelf gets wiped out. But penne, rigatoni, farfalle, still there. Buy the shapes nobody thinks about and you will never run out. Number 9 is the one I teased at the beginning, and it is a total game changer. Dried mushrooms, specifically shiitake or porcini. These things last for years if kept dry. And here is the insight. Dried mushrooms are one of the only plant-based sources of vitamin D. Most people get vitamin D from sunlight or fortified milk. But in a scenario where you are stuck indoors or fresh dairy is unavailable, dried mushrooms fill that gap. I bought a bag of dried shiitake mushrooms at an Asian market for $3. That bag has lasted me 2 years because you only need a few per meal. You rehydrate them in warm water for 10 minutes, and they are ready. The soaking liquid becomes a rich broth. You're getting 2 ingredients in one. And here's why they survive shortages. Most people have never cooked with dried mushrooms. They do not even know where to find them in the store. That makes them invisible during a panic. I keep 4 different types in my pantry. They add flavor, nutrients, and variety. And they weigh almost nothing. Number 10 is one that sounds too simple to matter, but it is critical. Powdered milk, specifically non-fat dry milk. It lasts for years. I have used powdered milk that was 3 years past the printed date. Tasted fine, mixed fine. The key is keeping it sealed and cool. Once you open the bag, transfer it to an airtight container. Powdered milk gives you calcium, protein, and vitamin D. You can drink it, bake with it, make yogurt if you have a culture, add it to coffee. A box of powdered milk costs $8 and makes about 5 quarts. Compare that to buying fresh milk every week and throwing half of it away because it's spoiled. And here's the shortage reality. Fresh milk disappears immediately. Everyone wants it. Powdered milk? Half the people do not even know it exists. The other half think it tastes bad. I do not care. It is nutrition that lasts and it is always in stock. Number 11 is one I learned about from a homesteader who lived off-grid for 15 years. Bouillon cubes, chicken, beef, vegetable, these things last forever. The salt content is so high that bacteria cannot survive. I have bouillon cubes in my pantry from 2013. Still dissolve, still add flavor, and here is what makes them brilliant. Food fatigue is real. When you are eating plain rice and beans every day, your brain starts to shut down. You get depressed. You lose motivation. A bouillon cube turns plain rice into something that tastes like a meal. It tricks your brain into thinking you are eating real food. A box of bouillon cubes costs $2 and contains 12 cubes. That is 12 meals with actual flavor. I keep 6 boxes. Different flavors. It is the smallest. Cheapest morale booster you can stockpile. And during shortages, nobody is thinking about bouillon cubes. They are thinking about meat and fresh vegetables. You are thinking about flavor and psychology. Number 12 is one that preppers either love or have never heard of. Nutritional yeast. Before you click away thinking this is vegan hippie food, hear me out. Nutritional yeast is deactivated yeast that is loaded with B vitamins, including B12, which is almost impossible to get from plants. A 2-tablespoon serving has more B vitamins than most people get in a day. And it lasts for years. I have a bag that is 4 years old. Still good. Still tasty. It has a cheesy, nutty flavor. You can sprinkle it on popcorn. Mix it into rice, add it to soups. It gives you umami, which is the savory flavor that makes food satisfying. A 1-pound bag costs $8 at any health food store or online. That is over 30 servings. And here's why it survives shortages. Most people have never heard of it. The ones who have think it is just for vegans. It is not. It is a nutrient-dense flavor booster that lasts forever and costs almost nothing. I keep 2 bags. Number 13 is the one that ties everything together. Coconut oil, specifically virgin coconut oil in a sealed jar. It does not go rancid like other oils. The saturated fat structure makes it incredibly stable. I have jars of coconut oil from 2015. Still white, still solid at room temperature, still perfect. And here is what people miss. Your body needs fat, not wants. Needs. Fat is required for hormone production, brain function, and absorbing vitamins. In a crisis where fresh meat and dairy are not available, you need a fat source that lasts. Coconut oil is it. You can cook with it. Eat it straight for calories. Use it on your skin. A jar costs $10 and contains about 30 servings. Compare that to buying butter or olive oil that spoils in months. And during shortages, people buy olive oil and vegetable oil. Coconut oil? Still sitting there. Because half the population thinks it is a health fad. It is not. It is survival fat in a jar. While everyone else is fighting over the same freeze-dried meals and canned goods that disappear in hours, you now know 13 items that are cheaper, last longer, and will actually still be available when the next crisis hits. These are not secrets because they are hidden. They are secrets because nobody is paying attention. Drop a comment and tell me which of these you are stocking up on first. And next week, I am revealing the 7 prepper items everyone swears by that are actually useless in a real collapse scenario. Trust me, you do not want to miss that one. So here's what I want you to understand about everything I just shared with you. These 13 foods are not just backup plans. They are the foundation of a realistic food storage system that actually works because it is based on what real people have used to survive throughout actual history, not what marketing departments tell you to buy. And I know what you might be thinking right now. 13 items sounds like a lot to track. But the beauty of this system is that every single one of these is something you can find at a regular grocery store or a specialty market. You do not need to order from expensive prepper websites. You do not need to wait for shipping. You do not need to spend thousands of dollars. Most people could build this entire pantry for under $200. $200. That is less than most people spend on groceries in a month, and it would feed your family for weeks if things got bad. Here is the thing that keeps me going back to this system year after year. It works because it is boring. Seriously, the moment you stop thinking of food storage as this dramatic, exciting thing, and start thinking of it as just normal groceries that you buy in bulk, everything changes. You are not stressing about expiration dates. You are not worrying about whether your food is still good. You are not gambling on whether what you bought will actually be edible when you need it. These 13 items remove the guesswork. They remove the anxiety. And they remove the financial risk. I also want to address something that comes up almost every time I talk about this stuff. People say, well, what if I do not like these foods? What if I try to eat nothing but rice and lentils and I hate it? Fair question, and the answer is simple. Start small. Buy one of these items this week. Buy another one next week. Use them in your normal cooking right now. Make lentil soup. Make pickles with your vinegar. Bake cookies with your honey. Cook pasta. The whole point is that these are not alien survival foods. They are regular foods that your great-grandparents ate all the time. Your body knows what to do with them. Your taste buds will recognize them. And the more you cook with them now, the less anxiety you will have about actually eating them if you ever need to. Here's another layer to this that I think is really important. When you stockpile these 13 items, you are also gaining something psychological that most people do not talk about. You are gaining peace of mind. You are gaining control. Right now, if there is a shortage, you feel helpless. You watch empty shelves and you feel like a victim of circumstances you cannot control. But when you have food storage, when you have walked into your pantry and seen months' worth of rice and lentils and honey and salt sitting there, something shifts in your brain. You feel capable, you feel prepared, you feel like you have agency, and that feeling is worth something. That feeling keeps you calm in stressful situations. That feeling gives you the mental clarity to make good decisions instead of panicking. The other thing I want to emphasize is that this is not about hoarding or being selfish. This is about being a responsible person who thinks ahead. This is about being the person in your family who can actually help if something goes wrong. This is about being the person your neighbors might turn to if there is a crisis, because you took the time to prepare. There is a dignity in that. There is something good about being the type of person who plans ahead and thinks about the future, instead of just hoping everything stays normal forever. And when you help your family, when you help your community, when you are the person who has what people need, that builds social capital. That builds trust. That builds relationships that matter. I also want to be really honest about something. Food storage can become an obsession. I have seen it happen. People buy and buy and buy until they have a basement full of food they will never eat, spending money they do not have, and the whole thing becomes counterproductive. That is not what I am talking about. I am talking about a reasonable, sustainable approach. Buy a little bit every time you go to the grocery store. Rotate what you store so it gets used in normal cooking. Keep it simple. Keep it realistic. Keep it affordable. This is not about becoming a full-time prepper. It is about being smart with your money and taking basic precautions. That is all. Now, I want to come back to something I mentioned earlier. The reason these 13 items survive shortages is not because they are hidden or secret. It is because most people are not thinking strategically. Most people react instead of plan. Most people buy what they see others buying. Most people follow trends. But you are different now. You understand the system. You understand why these items last. You understand why they are still available when the chaos happens. And that gives you an advantage that most people do not have. Use that advantage. Do not tell everyone about it. Do not post it on social media. Just quietly, slowly, week by week, build your pantry. Stack these items on your shelves. Sleep better at night knowing you have a plan. And look, if you have watched this far, you clearly care about being prepared. You clearly care about taking care of your family. You clearly care about not being caught off guard. Verse, that tells me something about you. That tells me you are the type of person who likes having answers instead of living in fear. That tells me you are the type of person who appreciates practical information that actually works. So please subscribe to this channel. Hit that bell notification so you do not miss the next video about prepper items that are actually useless. Seriously, that is coming next week, and it is going to challenge everything you thought you knew about emergency preparedness. And drop a comment. Tell me which of these 13 items you are starting with. Tell me what your biggest concern is about food storage. Tell me what questions you have. I read every single comment, and I use what you tell me to make better videos. So please engage. Let me know what you are thinking. Because this community is where real information gets shared. This is where people help each other actually prepare instead of just buying stuff and hoping for the best. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring about this stuff, and I will see you in the next one.